Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the OG Sessions Podcast, episode 163 going on right now. Of course, I got my brother Hayden with me. How you doing, man?
Great, man. How you doing?
And special guest, favorite guest of the pod, Mark Braddock. How you doing, brother?
Good. How are you, dude?
Not too bad. Pleasure having you back on the show, and you brought gifts.
100%.
So tell me about what we're about to be sipping on right here.
904 lemonade, freshly squeezed in Duval, baby.
Let's go.
I love it. And so I know you've been...
Give it a little shake.
Yeah, okay, give it a little shake first.
A little shake.
I was like, which mic is that? That's funny. All right, let's give it a rip, boys. Mm-hmm.
Some ice chunks in there.
God, that's refreshing.
That's good.
That is really good. How many lemons do you usually use to make one of these, you think? Is this like a 1 lemon, 2 lemons?
So if we're doing like a 5-gallon drum, doing 1 full cup of fresh squeezed lemons.
Sorry.
That's a lot. No, you're good. That's a lot, isn't it?
Yeah.
As expected.
You can taste it. That's good,
Great
bro.
branding.
So, Mark, I know you've been working on this for a long time. For the people that don't know, me and you pretty much I'd say we talk more often than some of my other guests, which I love picking your brain about stuff, man. And I'm always so grateful for the free game that you share with me and stuff. And I feel like we're very similar minded with a lot of the ways that you brand 8103 and I brand this podcast. But you've kind of been putting me on the radar about this lemonade thing that you've been getting into. And I remember the first time I tried this was at the 904 pop-up. Shout out 904 pop-up, also something that you've created. And you just seem to not be able to miss, brother. I'll tell you what, man. I mean, the lemonade was so good the first time, and it was kind of perfect because it was 110 degrees outside the first time I tried it. But dude, you're killing it, man. So can people buy these right now? Are these available to the public, or is this what's the rollout look like for these?
So right now we actually just, I guess the infant stages of a partnership with Sun Deli.
Okay.
So we're going to be producing it and manufacturing it out of their kitchen here
Okay.
at Jack's Beach. I've had an 8103 sub there for the last decade.
See, I didn't even know about that. That's sick.
Well, we gotta go
What
get
is the
one.
sub? Yeah, what's the 8103 sub?
So it's turkey, pepperoni, spicy mustard, bacon, pepper jack cheese, lettuce, banana peppers, and then I make my own sauce. I mix the Italian dressing and Louisiana hot sauce together. And, brother,
I bet it's got a little kick too. The banana peppers in there. I bet that's fire.
it's like a good like tang / spice, and I've been doing that sauce literally since I've been in high school going there. So I've been going to Sun Deli, for over 20 years.
Dude, that's awesome.
So yeah, man, I mean, I'm really good friends, with the owners and stuff, and I made a bunch of their shirts, over the years, and, I was in there, and I brought Barb, the owner, some lemonade, and she was like, so what's your angle here? And I'm like, that's where you can help.
Yeah.
And so I just basically proposed it to her, and I was like, hey, I'm doing all the branding. I'm going to make it really fun, really cool. And that's really it, man. It's just kind of one of those things I've always wanted to do.
Yeah.
Us having brands and having to design collections and multiple pieces and multiple colorways. This is a brand that is one product.
Yeah.
And yeah, I can go into different flavors down the line. I can do an organic version. I can do a watermelon lemonade version.
For sure.
But we're, going to start simple. One product, do super solid branding. I got a canning machine, one of those,
Yeah.
where you can do the cans. And I got a really, cool idea for like an all over wrapped can. And yeah, dude, I mean, everybody in Jacksonville is going to be drinking 904 lemonade soon enough.
Dude, this is
doesn't
fire.
like lemonade either. I don't
Yeah,
know
exactly.
anybody that doesn't like lemonade.
And it's cool, taking something, because for me, really, the only times I'm having a lemonade, I can't think of, a lemonade company, but, if I see a kid with a lemonade stand, I'm always stopping.
Oh, yeah.
Get a little 25-cent lemonade
Gotcha.
or whatever it is, but it's...
You can introduce alcohol later.
True.
Maybe.
Yeah, wait till you get in the lane of, dude, if you could do a spiked one, now we're talking about some...
I guess I can kind of spill the beans on that.
Oh, we got some in the works with this.
Actually, just got a text. Let's see here. It is, from Surfer Bar in Jack's Beach.
Ooh.
So obviously we do the 904 pop-up there 8 times a year. They're our neighbors, and we propose the same concept. But now we're going to take it to the next level. So the 904 lemonade is going to become the 904 hard lemonade. It's going to be sold out of Surfer. It's going to be $9.04
Fair.
for the drink.
Yeah.
And here again, it's just the starting process of it, but we're working out logistics and stuff like that. So hopefully, I don't want to say that we're trying for August 30th because that's the next 904 pop-up. I got to rip out another logo, kind of do some branding. We're going to do a shirt with Surfer too, and
That's awesome.
hopefully be able to have like a neon sign, you know what I mean, with like the 904, hard lemonade. But
Throw
yeah,
that in
man.
the window. Gosh, that's a good idea. I know you're going to take this thing and run with it, Mark. Seriously, you're great about just like being consistent with certain things like this, and it's one of those things, man, where you kind of have to got to master this product for it to even work.
Sure.
And this is a great lemonade, brother.
Thanks,
Seriously,
dude. Appreciate it.
With something like this, obviously, it kind of goes great with the 904 pop-up. For the people that haven't listened to our old episode, I would definitely advise you guys go listen to that. I don't even, it's got to be 130 or something like that, but we recorded an episode. Is it 114? Because we recorded an episode at your shop.
Yep.
So this is the 904 pop-up shop, and I can't thank you enough for letting us do it there, by the way.
It's
I mean,
really
that was
cool.
one of the coolest sets ever, bro. Just like having all the Jags vintage in the background and all
That
the
was
8103 stuff.
like a little transition time for you.
Yes, it totally was. That was before our previous studio. That we were leaving one spot, moving into the next, kind of got hung up in the middle, and we're without a studio for some time, and you were kind enough to offer your space. And dude, that episode did such good numbers, and it's one of those things where, like, I feel like that episode was a great intro to Mark Braddock. Like, for I could sit here and talk 15 minutes about just like who Mark Braddock is if someone didn't know, but for that episode, we kind of had to paint the picture for the people, like who is Mark Braddock? What is 8103? What's the 904 pop-up, especially for someone that doesn't live in Jax? Sure. So I would definitely advise that a lot of people go and listen to that episode because we're going to be making a ton of references to that. But for, the people that maybe you're just tuning in and don't feel like going back, let's give them a brief rundown on, what is the 904 pop-up?
904 Pop-Up is Jacksonville's largest curated pop-up. We do it 8 times a year at the Seawalk Pavilion in Jax Beach. 200 local vendors, 15 food trucks. Yeah, man, it's just growing like crazy. I actually just adjusted the times of the event. We've been running for the last 8 years from 11 to 7. Mm-hmm. Now I just went back to 11 to 5. And the goal of that is to really condense the traffic in those windows. And, we just tested it out for the last event on July 26th, and it worked out well. I can always have like a good gauge of, obviously we sell 8103 there, and my wife is, next to me with Sun Honey, and I'm always, hey, how'd you do today? And checking our numbers and stuff, and didn't affect sales, as far as for those last 2 hours of the event. We did have to shut down a little early just because we got some heat rain.
Gotcha, yeah.
And there was some thunder and lightning, and for safety issues, we can't have, vendors out there and thunder and lightning.
Yeah.
So we just asked everybody to pack up at 4. There was another storm coming through, so it was pretty smart to do that.
For sure.
But yeah, man, the 904...
Do you feel like there was getting a lot of people coming in at like 7 o'clock or 6 o'clock to come and cruise around out there? I feel like that's such a lunchtime event,
Not really. It was kind of like maybe a third or fourth wave, I think, for more like the food trucks.
For sure, yeah.
And, it kind of created issues towards the end of the event, just because we have a cleanup crew.
Oh, true, yeah.
We have, a dedicated trash team that literally, walks the entire event and empties these trash cans all day long. And what happens is when we run later and the nightlife and, Jax Beach kind of starts popping off too, trash will start to travel to the city trash cans, like the one that's right across the street from Oaxaca and City Hall, like right on the corner. And then there's a few other ones in the actual Latham Plaza parking lot. Dude, trash will literally go into that parking lot and be overflowed. And we've already scaled the event. We're like, hey, good to go.
Yeah.
Let all the employees go. And then I'll get a text at fucking 7 in the morning with like 8 photos. And it's like trash overflowing and city trash cans, mind you.
Yeah.
But it's our responsibility. And that is something that I really pride myself on and the event. We run a clean event. We go in with a huge footprint, and we're there for, 6-7 hours, and we're gone, and we left it exactly how we, got it.
Yeah.
clean.
Is there any changes that you are thinking about making to it? I know you've done a ton of variations to the 904 pop-up. Like, you had one when there was a half pipe in the big field there, and I thought that was a really cool idea. Sure. And then you did one where it was like, wasn't there music artists who would perform on stage and stuff like that? And it was almost kind of gave like a little, like a mini music festival vibe type of feel. What are some of the other plans of changes that you want to make, you know, with the 904 pop-up in the future?
I actually just, last month, I created a fully interactive sitemap. So I've been doing sitemaps, you know, and manually curating 200 vendors every, you know, event, basically 8 times a year. And it's a lot, you know, like I go through literally every single one. And if I'm not sure of the brand, I will go and look them up. I'll look up their Instagram. I'll check out their products, because 2 vendors alike or that have similar products can't be placed next to each other.
Oh, true. See, I didn't even think about this.
And so the curation is another huge part of the 904 pop-up, because it has to create just a great shopping flow. Mm-hmm. And also, yes, there are brands that have similar products and even the same. I mean, it's like, I'm a clothing dude. My wife has her brand. There's other women's boutiques. Yeah. There's other guys' clothing brands. But you know, it's like everybody's going to get theirs. Yeah. You know, like there's another local brand there that always does it, CMIV. It's the Roman numerals that mean 904. Like, he has his own pocket of customers, just like everybody else. And that was one of the really big reasons why I created the 904 pop-up, is because I created such a loyal customer base. And if I knew that I can do that, and as long as you're offering a good product and good customer service, Jacksonville's going to support you. And so that is the vessel. The 904 pop-up is me providing that platform that I have 2 decades of experience with, and just come correct, bring a good product, smile, sit in front of your tent, engage with, you know, the people, and you're going to sell stuff.
For sure. What brands do you feel like do the best at the 904 pop-up? Because there's sometimes, man, I'm walking through and you can't even get a spot at some of these tents, bro. Like CMIV, I know I've seen them a couple times, and just they're kind of, it's funny because like some of the merch they make, it almost looks like Jags vintage, but it's not. It's like new clothing, but they've thrown like vintage looks on top of it, or they do a ton of different like plays with the Jags logo and stuff. And it looks so fire, and there's always people at their booth. You know, also Scared Money. I know Scared Money's been out there a couple times. I've seen him. He's been on the show. He's a great dude. You know, we've seen tons of brands go out there where it looks like they do extremely well. You know, what do you see the most traffic or the most success from with a lot of those brands? Because I mean, dude, you've got dispensaries out there. You've got people that are selling like, you know, different food products. The food trucks I know are obviously making a killing. But in your opinion, who do you think has the most success?
You know, I would say, like, in regards to a certain category, what I feel that has grown the most over the most recent time is our vintage section. Like, our vintage section is literally full of, you know, powerhouses. And that word spreads through the vintage community as well, because they move product out there.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, there's going to be some high-priced, you know, vintage Jag stuff just because the value is going up. But otherwise, I mean, if they're just thrifting, you know, regular goods and, you know, college tees and stuff like NASCAR tees, Harley tees, like, there's people out there slinging tees for $10, $15. So, I mean, yeah, you're going to find, you know, the more expensive price point, but at the same time, you're going to find some steals too.
Yeah.
So I think the 904 pop-up is definitely very clothing driven, obviously, because 8103, you know, started it. But at the same time, just like you said, I mean, Sunburns out there, you know, like, I just got hit up. This is funny. I just got hit up by the bank that financed me for my Jeep that I just got.
No way.
So PNC Bank, they just applied to be a vendor, and I was like, oh, the irony of this. I was like, I'm the owner of the 904 pop-up, and you guys just financed me for my Jeep. And of course, then I'm like, you guys want to do a sponsorship?
Yeah, for sure.
So it's like, you know, they're already getting my money. Now, you know, it's coming back.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, too, man. I mean, the 904 pop-up as a brand, like, yes, it is, similar to a farmer's market. It's a market. The pop-up, when the pop-up terminology was, let's say, kind of taboo, which was probably about 8 to 10 years ago, people are like, well, what's a pop-up? And I just continued to brand it strong. And the pop-up, it's mystique.
Yeah.
You don't know. And yeah, there was some kind of, I don't know, there's some shitty pop-ups, I call them fart markets because they're just like farts in the wind. But another thing is, the consistency of the pop-up and the consistency of the branding of the pop-up. We have a brand.
Yes.
And that is the main difference of the 904 pop-up than any other fart market.
Yeah.
And, all these markets, man, like, it's good for everybody. Like, I'm not shitting on them by any means. It's just like, I'm hyper focused in what I'm doing and branding. And like, this is stuff I love to do.
Yeah.
Like, I love to, get better with branding, get better with tools, get better with our executions, get better with our systems, and like, if you're not growing, you're staying stagnant.
I don't think any other farmer's market could sell an actual T-shirt for the market. And that's like one thing you've done very well is like the branding aspect of it, because in a way, the 904 pop-up is the identity of a lot of the people that you have there, but it's also like a representation of that community that's there as well, which is a very interesting like route to take. Because a lot of people, when you see a pop-up, especially when it's like a famous pop, like you have ThriftCon, which is a huge, like it's a form of a pop-up, where it's a giant market, but it's all for thrifting. And then you've got Comic-Con and all these other like giant things, but they're all one thing. You know what you're going there to get. Yep. But with you, it's just like a open to the public, like community thing where it's like, if you're here, you're the 904 pop-up.
One-stop shop, man. I mean, that's the thing. It's like you can come out and find new companies that you've never seen come out of Jacksonville, but we're pulling vendors from all over the Southeast now.
Yeah, I've noticed that. Like, there's a couple of guys that I remember me and Casper at the last one or two of them ago, and she came across this brand that she's seen online all the time. I had no idea they were in Florida or South Florida, wherever they're from. And they're like, yeah, we drove up for this. And I'm like, pop-up must be doing numbers. I mean, if people are making the trek out, then it's like...
People are coming from Miami.
It's crazy.
But then, you think about the economic impact that the 904 pop-up makes in the city of Jacksonville Beach. So now if I have 50 to 100 vendors that are traveling from outside of Jacksonville, coming into Jacksonville, they're staying in our hotels.
Yep.
They're eating from our restaurants. So not only that the influx is coming to the central business district, which is the Seawalk Pavilion and Latham Plaza.
Yep.
But it all starts spreading like tentacles. They have to get gas.
Also, all the people that are coming from Mandarin to come out here and like they wouldn't come out here normally and have dinner, but since the 904 pop-up's going on,
sure,
let's go to Bricks,
100%.
and it kind of just trickles. I like that. I like that a lot actually, because that's one aspect that I haven't thought about is you are bringing a ton of people there, and it's great for the vendors, but it's also great for the surrounding businesses.
Definitely.
Honestly,
I mean, it's we've branded it as Sunday Fun Day in Jack's Beach.
Yep. For sure.
And when I started it, Sunday was the only day that I could get. I couldn't get a Saturday night because of all the bigger players in the event space.
Sure.
Nico, for instance, FinFest.
Yeah.
He is the best in the business. He does such a great job with his events. Charles with 904 Happy Hour, another guy that has just done exceptionally well with his events. And then obviously our staple, like Spring in the Blues.
Yep.
Sam is one of my mentors. Like, these are guys that I lean on when shit hits the fan, when I have a question about, I'm watching the weather maybe 24 hours out. I don't ever watch the weather until it's literally about 24 hours out.
Yeah.
Because in Florida, it changes so so rapidly. You don't know. And I mean, even for the last one, dude, it was 65% chance of rain. I was like, let's run it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I'm looking at the radar, bro.
Yeah.
And all these people, they'll just look, it's a 65% chance of rain. I'm like, where are you looking? Jacksonville? This event's at the beach, right?
It's also cool how you'll put together a video, whoever your video guy is the fucking best.
RD.
Because he is throwing together a
Daniel
video
R.
of the event that's dropping like the evening that the event happened.
Live cuts.
That
No.
is crazy, bro.
And no, shout out RD Music, Daniel R. And no, he's my shredder. And that's the thing, man. Like when we started the live cuts, I never turned back.
Yeah.
So, he gets there early. We have early crowds, we have crowds coming, really early to the event. So the content looks great.
Yeah, for
because
sure.
people are there. And obviously, we'll get that cut up, within like an hour or two.
Gosh, it's crazy because the editing is so good.
Yeah.
So it's like the fact that they pump it out so quick. I mean,
And he,
that's impressive.
he's a machine.
Yeah. And I know you guys were doing that for the shrimp games too, or like any of those things where you would do the events at the shrimp, stadium, and you guys would have a video for that dropping. It's great because, if I've Sunday got away from me and I didn't realize the 904 pop-up is today, I can see a video came out an hour ago, it's 3:00 in the afternoon. I still got time to run down there and go get something, So the live cuts are great because really a recap video would only help you with your next event, but live cuts are helping you with today's event, what's going on right then and there.
Yeah, and I mean, it can spark, some last-minute people that might not have seen it, and maybe it'll hit their algorithm that day at that certain time.
Yeah.
And, yeah, man, I mean, that is something that I love doing.
With you having your hand in so many different lanes, does it ever take away from like the 8103 grind? Like obviously all of this stemmed from, 20 years ago when you were, starting this 8103 brand, and then it grew so rapidly. And then now you kind of add all these different players to the mix, like the Lemonade and the 904 pop-up, and you trying to like do all these different things. I know you got some events that we're going to be talking about here in a little bit that the average person is a full-time job. Does it take away from the 8103 grind? And do you ever miss that where you were just hyper-focused on the one thing?
I actually was listening to a podcast or something that floated across my Instagram, and I used to always kind of strive for balance. If you're like, and it's not like if you're a real entrepreneur or not, like balance doesn't exist. Like when you're hyper focused on something, that's what it was. It was Liam Cohen. It was our coach. And he said it. And I was like, man, it was such an interesting point of view to it because I've always kind of been, how do I find this balance? And then I heard it from that perspective and it just like hit me in a totally different way. And I was like, he is so right because there is no balance. It's prioritizing what is important for you to be able to keep moving forward. However, that is going to feed my creative engine. And yeah, do I have to kind of bounce and wear this hat and wear this hat? Yes. But when I get hyper focused, which is like right now, like I bust out so much shit in such a short amount of time. Like I was even thinking about it today. I'm like, how the fuck am I going to pull all this shit off? But literally, I mean, we're doing the event on Friday. Obviously, we've sold 99 tickets. I got to probably make about 30 more pieces. But next Friday is the first food truck event in Jack's Beach. So there's a pilot program going on, and I'm partnering with Duncan Tilka, which is Bob Tilka's son, owns Surfer Bar, Mangoes, all the bars. Mm-hmm. And I really just wanted to help out with logistics because this is a city event and it's a pilot program that the city and the news and everybody's been promoting. And I wanted to go good because I'm so sick of people, saying, oh, Jack's Beach is this, Jack's Beach is that. No, Jack's Beach is great. And if I'm involved, just like the 904 pop-up, we've thrown over, 75 events with 0 issues.
Has it been 75 of these events?
100%.
And the first one started off in like the indoor, wherever that was. Was that your old shop?
Yeah, that's when I moved back from California.
See, it's crazy when you really know how far the 904 pop-up has come from that smaller space where you probably had maybe 15, 10 vendors. And now we're doing this thing. How many vendors do we have at the current one?
Last one was 176.
God, dude.
That's nuts.
I mean, you can spend a whole day there and just kind of like mingle with people and go back and forth.
This brings me to my next point. And when you asked me, what am I doing or what am I going to do differently with the 904 pop-up? So I was talking about the interactive map that I created. I've always wanted to gamify the 904 pop-up. Make it like a Monopoly board to where in random places, in random vendor spots, I'm going to put bonus tents. So if you go and buy from a specific vendor that has a bonus card, what's going to happen is you're going to buy from that vendor is going to mark the card. You're going to have to go to the 904 pop-up to redeem your prize, and we're going to give away a free tote bag and a free 904 pop-up shirt.
Wow. Okay.
That's
see,
cool.
now this
Like a
is
scavenger hunt almost.
Yeah,
Shop, win, explore.
That's
Shop,
sick.
explore, win.
that's good.
So,
That is good.
and I literally made it. I think I might have texted it to you the other night when I was, on my another freaking tear. But no, man, I mean, and I am constantly trying to think of, it's not like what's next. It's just what can be executed and executed well. And that's not too much of a workload, if you will.
Yeah.
And it would also be really cool to color coordinate the map. Put it on a shirt.
Oh, yeah.
Make not like a, I don't know why I was thinking like a Scrabble, but even the different colors.
Definitely.
And, here again, we'll start it in the simplest form. I'm going to limit it on each side. I was thinking of capping it because I have to cap it. Otherwise, it'd be giving away free shit all day.
Is the goal to give the cards to vendors that probably wouldn't do as well at the event to try to
100%.
boost sales for that? Okay, I see.
So it's strategically placing these bonuses in areas that I would never say are dead zones.
Yeah,
But they're going to be in each different zone.
for sure.
So if you go hit spot 1 that this person might be in the corner, well, now you got a bonus at spot 1.
I see.
Because you went all the way to the back of the show and or the front of the show,
Yep.
and you explored where the bonuses are.
See, I like that.
That's smart.
That's very good marketing because there's there's a lot of people that are there where I'm not even thinking about shopping and stopping their tent. Like if I got Cass with me, then that definitely opens up a little bit. There's some of the girl spots that she wants to go to, whatever. But I don't need a new piece of art. I'm sure people do, but for me, I go to some of these events and I'm like, I ain't even going into the painted wood, whatever it is. It'll be different arts and crafts. I'm like, I don't need to spend $60 on this, but there's plenty of people that are at these events. Dude, imagine some of the moms that are going and they go to one of those and they don't even maybe really know about the game. They're just there because they know their favorite little arts person is there. And then they give them a card.
And that's what's cool.
And
the
they're
surprise factor.
Yeah, exactly. They give them a card and then now they're like, oh my God, I love the 904 pop-up. You come out here, they give you free stuff. You shop with your favorite people. It works out perfect both ways.
Incentivizes basically people to shop from other vendors.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm going to have a bonus card at 8103.
Yeah.
But also, by default, it's going to bring 50 to 100 people back to the 904 pop-up tent to receive a free tote bag and a shirt. So let's say 50 people show up. We're definitely going to make another 25 sales from that.
Yeah, that's true. Because they're going to see all the other merch at the gosh, see, this is
and we're going to sell lemonade too.
See, that's the thing. See, Mark, there's always a little hidden factor you don't even
Always.
realize about.
A little Easter egg.
And a little Easter egg, exactly. But hey, that's the way you gotta do it, bro. You gotta keep growing and evolving. Somehow it's so funny because the form of throwing a market, and I go to probably 4 markets a week. Cass is dragging me to every farmer's market in the damn city. And I do love it, but there is certain Ram's a great example. Ram's been the exact same thing. To me, at least, to the naked eye, Ram's been the same fucking thing every single time I've gone for years. And if they were to throw some cool branding behind it, they could probably take it. Dude, have you ever thought about taking the 904 pop-up on the road? And trying it in a different city? It's tough because this is your home base, and obviously a ton of people here just through your connections. But shoot, what if you could even go on the road, throw a smaller version, but take some of these vendors with you? Hey, let's go get you in front of a new audience.
Have I never told you that I own 407 pop-up, 305 pop-up, and 813 pop-up? All the websites and all the Instagrams?
No, I did not know this.
This guy.
Oh my God, he's already beating us to the punch.
So it's all about bandwidth, bro. So I was talking with one of my friends. His name's Cody. He runs the show Dab Day and Florida Groves.
Okay, yeah.
Florida Groves. And Florida Groves has blown up. He produces that event in Orlando at the amphitheater. And, man, we were talking because I just need more or less an ambassador. Now, all right, let's say that I went to Orlando. Orlando would be how I would want to do it, I mean, shit, I'll just give the sauce. Like, I'd go there and I'd partner with UCF, and I would hire someone that is in marketing and in event planning to be my ambassador for the event, to where then it is now literally the 407 market, or the 407, can now be like this homegrown college, like hyper local and hip and young. It would be not a completely different demographic, but it all depends on kind of what community it's, building around.
For sure.
And if there's 40,000 kids, at UCF, and that's an easy win.
Yeah, I mean, with you having the handles for the other spots, I mean, it's kind of, I'm sure you're already thinking about that.
Oh, dude, I mean, the marketing that I would do for Orlando would be the exact same marketing that I do for Jacksonville, but I would hit all the iconic spots in Orlando. Mm-hmm. You have the Disney marketing, you have the Orlando Magic.
I bet half of your vendors from 904 Pop-Up would go and follow you down to one of those,
half of the vendors come up from Orlando.
Yeah, true.
So Orlando would be an extremely big marketplace. This was what's funny about 305 Pop-Up when I bought that website. So there's a website, or there's a location down in Miami called The Wharf.
Okay.
And it's an outdoor green space, event space, top notch.
Okay.
I mean, freaking badass.
Bigger than Seawalk?
Bigger than Seawalk. This would be like future goal for me, like to have something in permanency, to where like I could do something every single weekend and
sure.
run it, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and basically just have this thing, churning.
Yeah.
So when I went and bought 305 Pop-Up, when you went to 305popup.com, it redirected you to the Wharf. And so when I bought it, I just redirected you back to 904 Pop-Up.
I see. Okay.
But it's just funny that an entity that is a big entity in Miami that bought that website just to drive people back to them if they were searching 305popup.com.
Wow.
So I thought, it's pretty cool, but now it's mine.
Yeah, for sure. That is a pretty cool idea, but we're going to take that.
He's the guy that buys all the handles and just
$50,000
$50,000 for
because we were just
handle.
going through this bullshit, man. We were trying to find a Club Citrus handle, and like someone's got it, but of course it's like just someone, they're just going to sit on it and charge you $50,000, 10 years from now. But oh my God, it's genius. Like you can't hate the player, hate the game.
I love
right?
the idea of the 904 Pop-Up, and I'm actually interested because Nick and I have kind of explored the idea of like live shows and stuff and having the audience right there in front of you. That's like just seeping into the brand identity. How important is the pop-up and being live in person with a brand like 8103 to the growth of the brand? Having that kind of like...
Man, that's such a great question, because the 904 Pop-Up, I mean, it's not like 8103 is a new brand.
Exactly.
This will be 23 years. The 904 Pop-Up has given 8103 a whole new life. So the last time we were on the show, this was right after, I mean, I don't even know where I was numbers-wise on building the new Instagram. But after I lost my first Instagram, which was 22,000 followers, gone, and that was an Instagram that told a completely different story than what my palette does now. I was posting photos of my brother. I was posting photos of his grave. I would go to his grave on his anniversary. It was, when my mom passed away, I made a post of that. When my dad passed away, I made a post of that. Like, it told a story.
Yeah.
And, like, after losing it and, like, fuck, I got to restart again,
Yeah.
But now it's like, all right, I'm really good at this now. Now I'm not using this like a photo platform with some weird ass filter on it.
Yep.
And now I'm like, all right, now I'm going to just break this algorithm again, And that's when I really was going hard into video production as well, with some of the other guys that I've worked with as well, when I do these crazy vintage videos or, a promo at the shop. I look back at some of those videos and I'm like, damn, how did I even think of that?
Yeah.
And that goes kind of back to your point of the balance. It's like, there's no balance. It's like when I am laser focused on something, like there's no knocking me off the track.
If someone knew you back in the old days of 8103 with the old Instagram account, and they see you make these posts, it's like everyone's still rocking with the brand. Like, we know the identity of the brand. But for a new person coming in that doesn't know Mark Braddock, like, they could care less about your personal life. They just want to see this clothing brand. They came here because they like some of your designs on the tees. Sure. And that's one thing that I kind of struggle with too, man, is like sometimes, you know, I'll make a post on my personal that has to do with the pod, and then I'll collab with it on the pod. But it's like, this is more so something that should stay on my personal account, you know? And it's not doing a disservice, but it's like something where sometimes I look back, and I remember when I first started the pod, I thought that it'd be a good idea to like just post orange aesthetic things. So like the first 30 posts on my Instagram account, if you go way to the bottom, are just like an orange truck and like an orange like area and like all these different things. And it was all orange stuff. But then, you know, if I were to look back, like with the way you kind of learn about the algorithms and what people actually crave and what they like, I mean, if I were to go back and had a fresh Instagram account, it's almost like a blessing in disguise, because like now you have the sauce, but you have a blank canvas.
Definitely.
It does help though with the story of 8103 to know the history of it, because a lot of people probably see the numbers and they have no idea what it stands for. They don't know how like actually deep the brand is. But then again, who even cares? In a way, it's almost like, you know, if you're here just because you love the design on the tees, like we're happy you're here too, you know?
So, and that was a big change back in the Karma Loop days, was when my fuck it meter just went off. And like, I just started doing shirts of literally, we talked about this the last time, just whatever I wanted, you know, stuff that I was into, stuff my brother was into, movies that I like, rappers that I like, a lot of pop culture. I'm a professional at striking when the iron's hot. Mm-hmm. I can bring a product to market literally faster than anybody. I will definitely take the ode on that. Nobody can bring a product faster to market than me. And you have to be able to do that because, all right, perfect example, last year for the playoffs. So the Jags playoffs tee that kind of got released, and it was that weird one that I think it said like done that or something. It had Nike made it. Those shirts they weren't even for sale in the local stores because they couldn't get them. So when I dropped mine, I stole the show. Exactly, yeah. Like, the shirt went viral. And, I mean, I don't even want to, divulge numbers, but, I mean, that playoff weekend was nice, wild. Yeah. Well, it was cool, too, because you were dropping, individual shirts for each game, which you want to talk about striking when the iron's hot. I mean, you're literally making a tee for one game. It's not even like do that again. Yeah, are you really? That was so hard. What? Well, yeah, because I mean, you're constantly having to create a different design, and it's kind of nice because you know who the opponent's going to be. But some of the stuff, like for the Chiefs one, I think you had like it was a Travis Kelce reference somewhere in there with T Swift or something, and you're like, first off, super edgy, but like this is something you can just chat GPT. Yeah, we had Taylor flying in the jet, and in the airplane. And with a banner that said, Taylor loves Duval. Yeah. Oh, that's right. And the Jag was throwing the spear. Yep. Into, what's the quarterback's name? Mahomes. Yeah. Yeah. It's okay. He's irrelevant now. So I totally agree. Yeah. Gosh, man, it's crazy. But no, I mean, and that was the thing. Like, I mean, like I have some new shirts. Obviously, we're dropping, August 14th because I'm doing the big vintage drop too. Yep. But yeah, like the whole versus tee, like the Jag versus another one, like it's cool, but I'm all about feedback too. You know, like I can think I'm doing the coolest design ever and shit'll flop. But the feedback from it was like they were kind of more limiting as to they didn't really want to wear those to like every game. It became game specific. Mm-hmm. Yep. Which I didn't, really expect or think of like that to happen just because they're all fucking cool tees. Yeah, for sure. And I mean, not half of the teams, but half the teams we played last year, we don't play this year. Oh yeah, that's a good point. So it's not like I can bring them back. Yeah, yeah. True. I got like two. I'll probably do the Jags. The Jag versus Panthers. Yep. Because that one, was our inaugural game. Yeah. And then the Titans, like you could obviously do the Titans one again, do the Texans again, the Colts. The Titans again. One was my playoff tee, and that was the belt to ass. And so we had the whole squad, and I'm pretty sure Trevor was giving belt to ass to a Titan that was laying down. Yep. And then we had a Jag in there and shit. And yeah, man, I mean, who knows? You know.
Speaking of striking when the iron's hot, though, like this is a great segue into the camp that you're doing with Asher. So this is a super dope collab, especially since we had just had him on the pod. I remember we had him on. I immediately sent you a picture because we were talking about it 2 days earlier. I was like, you know, you were saying, I want to do something with Asher. I was like, I already got something in the works with Asher. And it's like, we're both just striking. We both came across this kid and we're like, we got to jump on it. And, yeah. So tell us about that, bro, because that's going to be huge.
Yeah, man. We're partnering with Asher Ghetto.
There you go.
Perfect. There we go.
Had to
At least someone
right.
can pronounce it right.
his last name has been kind of getting murked, you know, the last few interviews. But yeah, Asher is Jacksonville's Defensive Player of the Year, 5-star defensive end playing for Bulls. His manager reached out to do a collaboration, and I ended up going to talk with the coach, and then we lined up a training camp. Training camp is Friday, so 2 days from now. We're dropping product. I'm wearing one of them right here, Bold City Athletics.
Love that shirt.
And this is the other one. This is the Asher Bulldog. You know, a little.
I love that.
That's
man.
sick.
I
I need
really
that.
love that shirt, and it's kind of giving like that's something that a younger generation would. That's something a younger generation would totally like wear. It's kind of given like a luxury streetwear brand feel to it, but also it's a total like it's obviously a spin on Bulls.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if you're a kid at Bulls, that is the hottest shirt money can buy.
Well, he said he was a Bulldogs fan too. Like we're growing up, so.
So basically, like I couldn't use their logo, you know, for this, as you know, we're building a relationship. So Asher wanted me to design a vintage Harley inspired logo, and I was like, all right, well, I want to do something with the Bulldog, and I'm going to make it, you know, Harley inspired, vintage, you know. And then at first we were just doing, you know, the small center chest, which is like the training camp jerseys. But then, like, I was like, dude, I'm like, this kid's 17.
Yeah, true.
I'm like, I need to go hard.
Like
you know?
what's in right now too? It's like hard to think about like what's
No, right. I got to
poppin'.
take myself back, you know, 20 years. But at the same time, like, I'm pretty known for doing like big, oversized prints. This is definitely, you know, a little more on the oversized side. It's definitely bigger than a lot of our prints now.
Mm-hmm. I do like how with this tee you do like the texturized, whatever it's called, where it's almost like, you know, old vintage tees, like the paint chips, obviously.
Distressed.
Yeah.
Distressed,
Oh,
there you
distressed. Okay, perfect. And that's what this shirt looks like. It looks like something you would get like in a vintage, like at one of the pop-up, you know, spots at 904, which I like that. I like that look.
Thanks, dude. You know, Asher's a really cool kid, and I'm really glad his manager, Deshaun, you know, reached out. We've been, you know, talking a little bit over Instagram, trying to get him in the shop and stuff like that. Kid's so busy. It's insane. But yeah, man, they hit me up and we're interested in doing a collab. And then that morphed into basically doing this training camp. I went and met with the coach at Bulls with Asher's, you know, manager. And we talked about it, and obviously I'm pretty well experienced in the event front.
Yeah.
So a camp with 100 kids, and we have just one food truck, but we got hard-pressed burgers. I mean,
Hey, I might throw some pads on, get out there, boy. I'll tell you. I'll tell you. God, hey. What up, OGs? We interrupt this episode to tell you about one of our favorite sponsors, All of My Pickle. If you're tired of boring pickles that taste like, well, nothing, then it's time to upgrade your snack game. All of My Pickle makes the most delicious, gut-healthy, fermented pickles, krauts, and pickled veggies that you've ever had.
They're crunchy, tangy, and full of probiotics, but taste money, dude. Whether you're putting them on a salad, a sandwich, or just snacking them straight from the pouch, these pickles hit different.
Right now, All of My Pickle is offering listeners 10% off your first order with code OGSP at allofmypickle.com. Support a local business that makes food that actually loves your gut back. Go give All of My Pickle a shout. Thank you, All of My Pickle, so much for sponsoring this episode.
Code OGSP.
10% off your first order. That's a deal that you guys cannot sleep on. Now back to the episode.
We love you, All of My Pickle.
And do you know, like, you know how sometimes you'll see there'll be a picture of, like, let's say like a famous athlete will post a picture of them as a kid training with an athlete that was a little bit older than them, but they got even more. You know what I mean? You'll see those throwback photos. This is going to be like one of those times for these kids. I've got full faith that Asher is going to be in the NFL in like 3 years anyway, or 4 years or whatever the minimum time he has to do at a college, you know, to get to the NFL. But a lot of these kids, I don't even think they're going to be able to fully comprehend like how cool of an opportunity this is going to be. So shout out to you for throwing this.
and that's a good point, because Asher brought that up too, because full circle for him, you know, going to like a Blake Bortles camp when he was a kid, to now, obviously, he, was at the Mac Jones camp with Mac Jones.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to have more kids at the Asher camp than Mac Jones did.
Yeah, see, that's crazy,
So
man.
that's-
Shout out to you. That is so cool.
It's a testament to Asher. Asher's a really good kid.
Great
and, man, I see nothing but the stars, for him. Great kid, great family. I'm just really fortunate to be, partnered with him and being able to build that relationship.
For sure. Yeah, I love that, Mark. Seriously.
When we had him in, it was we left and we were that was the nicest little kid ever. I mean, we were talking about it earlier. Being that you're redheaded, my little sister's redheaded. I got the red facial hair and stuff like that. And I was like, I feel like this is my little brother that's massive.
Yeah.
That's what I said in my news interview. I was like, this is like my younger, bigger brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, it's even kind of ironic to call him a kid, even though he is 17 years old. And, it's still important for him to be a kid, too.
Yeah.
Because he is about to be on a fast track.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's important that, he definitely, stays humble, stays, on his path, but make sure that he can still be a kid and, still have fun.
Yeah.
For sure, and for a kid, like he's so well spoken, like you said,
Yeah.
bro. It's like he didn't even feel like a kid. You
I
know
was
when
a
he came
fan
through.
when I walked out. I
Yeah,
was like-
exactly. Same. Shout out to Asher. Shout out to you for throwing this camp. I know everyone's gonna love it, bro. This is gonna be sick.
And so, but really, man, it's like, as much as we do cool stuff, like 8103 is a community brand.
Yeah.
And, I can do cool shirts and cool Jag shit and whatever, but at the same time, I mean, like, I've been going to speak at high schools to talk to kids.
Yeah, I saw that.
And it's like, kids need to, hear my message, versus what we grew up with. I grew up with a DARE program.
Yeah.
And don't do drugs, and you have this frying egg and whatever the hell. And it was a cop coming into your classroom, basically spooking you. And
Mr. Smiley.
it was
Officer Smiley.
Yeah, it was.
Yep.
It was literally horseshit.
Yeah.
And like, I did a deep dive on that, and man, I mean, the DARE program was a full sham. It was endorsed by politicians. Like, some of the top people in the DARE program, I think, was this was when like Herbalife was like exploding. The CEO of Herbalife was on the DARE program. Evander Holyfield was, a part of this secret fucking alliance.
Yeah.
And it was not designed to do actually what it did.
Yep.
Because it did more damage. And when I go into schools and tell my story, kids can relate to me automatically.
Yep.
I'm a local dude. I'm a small business owner. I've got a story, and I want to inspire that kid that maybe that he, is going through rough times now, but to make the right decision, to be resilient, and to just, live life to the fullest, man. And there's just a lot of things that, in the drug culture. I mean, my brother passed away from OxyContin. Fentanyl is the killer. And these kids need to be aware of this stuff, not in a way to where it scares them. They need to be able to relate to someone that has been through it, that has seen the trickle effect.
Yeah.
My brother passed, and I knew that was going to take a significant time off of my parents. And then when my mom passed, and then my dad passed, I was like, fuck,
Yeah.
And then I went to California just because I had to get the hell out of Dodge, man.
And you never know also like what a kid is going through, man. Like some of those kids could have experienced some of the same things, but they feel alone, as I'm sure you felt at that time as well.
Definitely. And that's one important thing too, is silence is not golden in regards to that. You need to talk to your friends. You need to lean on your friends. And if you have an issue, and if you have a problem, and if you're feeling some type of way, reach out.
Yeah.
Don't stay silent about it.
100%. Yeah, I think that's cool, man. Like going to the schools and like just meeting with them face to face, and it kind of, it does elevate you as a person as well, right? Because people like supporting someone who's out doing things with the community and stuff like that. So it's like it can never hurt the brand to just spread, a good message to people.
Definitely. And I mean,
Was it nerve-wracking for you, like getting up there and talking in front of a lot of those kids? I mean, I saw some of the schools, like, didn't you go to Nice or something? And it's like,
it started with because I started working with this group called Project Opioid. They invited me to speak at Job Corps, which is a school in Jacksonville, and it's basically a school designed to put kids, high school students, into the workforce. I want to say a little bit quicker, or provide the trade skills that you normally wouldn't get out of a normal high school. And so that was a whole auditorium. I mean, there was probably 200-300 people, and that was the first time that I ever did any public speaking. And here again, I also, just kind of have to take these signs, and I'm like, this is what I was born to do. Like 8103, is the vessel. And it's the vessel to create that platform where I can, it's not use my brother, but my brother's story is going to save lives.
yeah,
And that immortalizes his memory and his legacy. And to where, there's some kids that, I was fortunate to have a mom and dad for over 30 years. There's kids that don't grow up with moms and dads. I was fortunate to have a brother for 18 years. There's people that don't have brothers and sisters. So it's the things that, after you experience trauma, when life gets real. And that's when you got to, pull your pants up, get on the grind. Life doesn't stop. It keeps going. And it's not like nobody cares, but people have their own problems too, bro.
yeah.
And, it's like, you've got to figure out how to deal with those problems. You got to figure out how to move forward, and you just can't stay stagnant.
Did you feel like that fired you up more with the brand, like having a lot of losses and kind of, I don't want to say like it obviously didn't help anything, but do you feel like you went through a rut like during those time periods with the brand and like with trying to stay on your grind and like, I know with you, it's easy, like for you, you're saying, get on your grind, like it's time to buckle up and put your pants on or whatever. But like in those moments, was it difficult for you to kind of lock in and dial up with the brand? Because I mean, I didn't know you well enough at that time, but like for me, 8103 has just always seemed like it's just fucking pumping, bro. In
the beginning, and I need to get through the beginning, and I need to get to California because that's going to be a good point. In the beginning, after my brother passed, obviously it lit a fire under me. I didn't really know what I was doing. I had no idea. I just knew I wanted to create a brand to keep my brother's memory alive. Prior to even 8103, 8103 was a tagline on like a back of the shirt. Before I was calling it Gateshead. And that was a nickname between me and my brother. And he would come home from school and he'd be like, Gateshead. And I'd be like, Gateshead. And like, it was like our thing, his thing.
Yeah.
My brother could create these names out of thin air, no matter what it was, and it would be funny, and it would end up turning into some sarcastic joke between either me or his circle of friends. He just always had that. So in the beginning, like that was my grieving process. I was pouring all of my emotion into my brand. And, I didn't have a plan B. My parents, after my brother passed, they started blaming each other, and then they ended up divorcing. So I couldn't really lean on them because I didn't really know who to trust. And yes, did I still have, good relationships with both my parents? Of course, but they were grieving too.
Yeah.
And they just buried their son. No parent should ever have to bury their child, man. And like, me being 18 years old and finding my brother, it was the fucking hardest thing that I've ever went through. But, then that gets to my mom and my dad. So, when I lost my mom in 2015, I found her as well. And then that's when I had the store on Penman Road.
Yep.
And so I wanted to quit, bro. I fucking sat in my backyard in a kiddie pool, and I was drinking Bloody Marys for about 3 weeks, not doing shit. And then I was like, what are you doing, Mark? I was like, this ain't you. I was like, yep, get up. You know, like it's time to go. It's time to do what you have set out to already do. And yes, you are going through hard times, but it's time to get up. So then I called my dad, and I was like, Dad, I need the pool table. I'm going to move it in the store because I want to start having pool tournaments and ping pong tournaments. We had the first ping pong tournament. Ryan Ackerman, he ended up winning, but he sucks anyways. 4 days after that, my dad tells me he's got cancer. I was a realist, and it wasn't the cancer he was going to beat. So I had to make plans to close that store. And so within 6 months he passed. The cancer ended up in his brain stem. And that's when I moved to California. And yeah, dude, I mean, I pretty much deaded my company. I was working for a cannabis brand. I was building other brands and driving around a lot of product all over California.
You were still like pushing the 8103 thing too, kind of like, I remember you were making some cannabis-based merch because obviously when you go over to that side, like that's what was hot, especially at that time too,
Sure.
like when cannabis was popping in
Still the
Cali.
Wild Wild West.
Yeah, exactly.
It was still when Proposition 215 was still in effect, and that was when, like, growing wise, you could do the 99s. People were blowing shit up out there. It was awesome.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, because that was like early days. California and Colorado were like the only two, or maybe Washington as well. Yeah, it was very few. It was very few like states that were allowing it at that time too, and it was like that was the identity of Cali.
Oh, dude, I was in NorCal, man. I was in, everybody talks about the Emerald Triangle. Well, nobody's ever heard about Grass Valley in Nevada City. I mean, that's basically, there's some of the best cannabis grown in the world there. That's where Khalifa Kush, that's where Wiz's strain is grown.
Wow, see, I didn't even know that. I'm sure you know a couple things about that. Hayden used to work in the cannabis industry, and so yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's some gas. I mean,
and I still have great friends from over there. What's funny is the dispensary just hit me up. Not sure, 1120, no, not 1122.
Planet 22 or
It's something with it.
Planet.
Man, I'm not even going to try to say it. Anyway, a dispensary hit me up, and when I was there, I was doing all these designs that were NorCal based. I did a Nevada City shirt. I did, like their silhouette of their county in it because it looks like an old musket, and an Empire Mine shirt because it was all about like gold and shit like that around there. And like here again, just embodying the culture, around it. And so they hit me up and they were like, when you were here, you did the coolest Nevada City shirts ever. And do you still have those designs? Because we want to sell them. And I'm like, this is 8 years later.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I think I still have those. And they want me to put their logo on it.
Sure.
So they can put it in their store. But I'm like, damn, am I going to get to go back to California again? So, I mean, but here again, this is a relationship play, bro.
Yeah.
Like I didn't leave Nevada City, like on a bad foot. Like my personal life just hit the fan. The person that I was with at the time, she cheated on me and fucking wrecked my life.
Yeah.
And that's when I had to throw a Hail Mary, and I threw a Hail Mary and posted a tweet, 8103 ex Jack's Jumbo Shrimp. And dude, that's how I came back to Jacksonville.
Really?
100%. I wasn't coming back here with no momentum.
Wow.
Because I felt like I reached the ceiling, when I left. And yeah, man, the last 8 years I've been partners with the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp. And it's funny how much attention that I've brought into that brand.
Oh, for sure.
For other people doing collaborations after we've already done it. But yeah, man, I mean, we're there 40 times a year.
Yeah.
Basically.
Oh, no. Yeah. You guys are popped up at every single Jumbo Shrimp game.
Thursday through Saturday.
But that's interesting that's what brought you back, because that is kind of a Hail Mary. It's a Hail Mary for you and a Hail Mary for them, too, because for one, you're like, obviously, you're a dog in the city, but now you're not even in the city anymore.
That's why I had to move back. I was like, how the fuck am I going to do a collaboration with the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp, and I'm living in Northern California? So I was in a vulnerable point, and basically, we had to rent. I had to rent a house, sight unseen. I know this beach like the back of my hand.
Yeah.
So then I was back, and that's when I, did the grand opening party at that spot near Mojo's.
Yep.
And then I was in there for 30 days, but I even, prior to that, I called Jaron probably about a month or two before I moved back, and I was like, dude, I'm coming back, and I'm going to blow everybody up. I was like, I got this new idea, and it's 904 pop-up, and I was just like, I'm coming back fucking swinging.
Yep.
And then when I moved over to that shop, that's when we did the first 8103 Jack's Jumbo Shrimp release at the store with my friend Christopher Maslow, Slow. And Slow did artwork all over the store and brought in his Beautiful Death collection. And it was awesome, man. We literally just curated an entire store after literally curating the previous store that Nico Suavelicious.
Yep.
She did a whole master mural. She did a whole mural of Walter, my old dog.
Shout out Walter, the old Frenchie. Gosh.
The OG, and that's when he started having fucking seizures. So right when I came back from California, he started having seizures. And yeah, he ended up,
Yeah, Walter was like that was your sidekick.
Bro.
And that was the shop dog.
Bro. He was awesome. He
I
would be
remember
sitting
when
right there in that chair.
Yep.
And if we were here, he'd greet you when you
Yeah.
come in. And then he'd just go back right in his chair and sit down.
I remember he would when you were at the store off 3rd Street, kind of near like where Mellow Mushroom is now or whatever. It's a small shop, but then you've always got Walter sitting there in the window, like kind of right by the front. Oh my God, shout out Walter. But then you ended up getting another Frenchie after that, correct? Do you still have that Frenchie? Hank, that's right.
Hank
I love
is
it.
Good name.
Hank is not Walter. He's definitely a little shithead.
Yeah.
But no, man. After like Frenchies became so like overbred,
Yeah.
and not. I mean, they're still super popular. But no, I just with Walter went literally everywhere with me, and that was also a burden for me too.
Sure.
And I think it was a thing, like kind of a grieving thing. After I lost my mom and my dad, I was like, well, I'm not taking antidepressants. Like, I just want my dog.
Yeah.
I just want my dog around me.
For sure.
And I really did get used to that, like almost to the point where it was just too much.
Yeah.
And I had to break that cycle, and it was honestly with Hank. And it was like one day, when this was when me and Alyssa were, I don't think we were engaged at this time. I think we were just, boyfriend and girlfriend. But one time we just, left, the house and left him there.
Yeah.
No turning back ever since. Baby.
Yeah, I bet. Well, especially now, bro. Like, I see you with the 904 pop-ups, dude. You're bouncing around, man. Sure. Like, I can't imagine you having the dog, like, dragging around out there. And also, some things fit the character. Walter was, you knew if you saw Mark, you were going to see Walter. That was kind of like part of the package. Like, sure. Hank can't just come in and fill these big shoes just easy. Maybe if Hank put some good hours in at the house, then we could start rotating him into some of the events and stuff. But sure. Did Walter ever get to see a 904 pop-up?
Yes, he did. No, so what was that event that he was at?
Was it the first one?
I think it was, because that's when I had Mover and Shaker. I'm pretty sure Casey was there, Abrasion, Upland.
Oh, see, it's cool that some of these brands are still, like, around,
100%,
Like, because that was what? The first 904 pop-up was 10 years ago, maybe? Or no? 8 years ago. Okay, yep. Wow. God.
And yeah, that was, when it was just in the shop or whatever. And I reached out, to, power players, people that were making moves and people that, I thought they could add value, to what, platform that we're building. And it just built so fast that after the third event, I went to the city of Jack's Beach and I got the permit, and it went from 10 vendors to 60. And then I think by the second or third show, I was 200 vendors deep.
God, dude.
Shit grew so fast. And it was during COVID too.
Do you ever find that, because I'm sure, like, shout out Cassidy, she works with our team, and I know you were mentioning Nico earlier, and they throw incredible events. And so she's in charge of, like, running a lot of their vendors with that company. I don't even know if she wants me sharing that, but I'm sure she won't care. But she loves her job, if it was listening. But I know they do a great job over there. And sometimes, like, when she's going out and searching for vendors, she's specifically searching for, like, certain people to fit the vibe of the event, And do you ever feel like that's an issue with 904 Pop-Up? Like, maybe a vendor wants to come and pop up at this thing, but, like, it just doesn't fit the correct vibe. Or, I'm sure that, like you mentioned, kind of curating people so that you have a little bit of everything. Like, once you've got, 8, or I don't even know what your number is, but vintage people out there, you kind of got to cut it off, you know?
Sure.
And do you
So-
struggle with that?
No, really, it's, you know, it's not, I don't think it's, the competition isn't, you know, a problem. Curating is obviously, you know, the most important. But having the vendors there that, you know, that have that good array of products from all kind of different sectors, you know, so you have the health and wellness, you have women's, you have jewelry. Okay, perfect example, like permanent jewelry, you know, like that is something that was a big trend, I would say, the last few years, but now it's kind of dying off. And we limit vendors like that because they are such a niche.
Yeah.
So, for instance, let's say if I do book 2 of them, I'll put them on completely opposite sides of the event.
I see. Yeah. That's a good idea.
And so, but everyone, you know, to your point, everyone has to get an opportunity, but we have rules. For instance, food trucks. I don't take food trucks unless they are fully wrapped with graphics. I don't want, if I'm not going to eat from your truck, then the people coming to the 904 pop-up are not going to eat from that truck.
Yep.
And if it's a black trailer with a small sticker in the corner and a handwritten menu, that's not coming to the 904 pop-up.
For sure.
We have to uphold that standard because one of the other things that people say about the 904 pop-up is the quality of vendor that's there. My dream and, you know, big goal is to have branded tents throughout every single one.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
To where, you know, my experience from this is trade show experience. When you're mentioning ThriftCon and ComplexCon, these are trade shows.
For sure.
They're not markets. These things are beasts. Now, is the 904 pop-up scratching the surface on probably how something like that started? 100%. But that's the thing is like, you know, these kind of hyper niched market focused, you know, you have a streetwear show, you have a this, you have a that. The 904 pop-up does bring in a more mixed array, but it still has the cutting edge marketing.
Yep.
And that can also, you know, push the older demographic not away, but it can also be like, oh, this is too cool for me.
Yeah, true.
But we, you know, the demographic that comes out there to shop, I mean, especially now, like I've been using my TikTok a little bit more for 904 pop-up, and I think I figured it out.
Nice.
Figured out TikTok.
Yeah,
now.
once you figure it out, let us know because we're still trying to figure that shit out
Well,
ourselves.
especially for 8103, some of the videos that I've done, the best for me is just when I'm wearing my Metas.
Oh, for sure.
And
I
I'm
didn't
just
think
going
about
through
that.
my clothes, and like what's funny is when Pharrell did the fashion show where he recreated the beach.
Yep.
That was so sick.
And did you notice though that in the marketing, in the first slides, literally it was a post of somebody wearing Metas and walking in and showing the inside of the space because they were launching a new style. And I think that it was right when Kylie was like dropping hers or something. But I'm like, this is so interesting that they're now actually using this as marketing. Like this is a part of their carousel.
It's POV.
It's POV.
It's POV. That's what's trending.
And so that has, you know, there's some videos on 8103 that are probably like 30, 40, 50K, you know, and it's vintage stuff.
Yeah.
Like it pops off. And then like the pop-up, what I've noticed too is I just started adding text to my videos because I've honestly hated it.
Yeah.
But it works. And yeah, like and we did an experiment with my friend Shutter Styles, Kevin Lind. He's my drone videographer. And I was like, bro, stop uploading videos. I'm not going to let you upload another fucking video unless you put text on this. And I said, put POV flying through downtown Jacksonville over whatever bridge you're doing.
Yep.
Don't upload that clip of just that. Put that text in it. And he did one of the Matthews Bridge, and he picked the Limp Bizkit song The drummer from Limp Bizkit ended up commenting on it. The video fucking went viral.
God.
The dude 2 weeks ago was just like, oh, dude, I'm shadow banned. I'm like, no, dude, you just don't post.
Yeah.
And, like, I have paralysis, too, about posting, too, but I am kind of, I mean, dude, I run fucking 3 or 4 different socials. And, you know, like, the 904 pop-up's the beast, though.
Yeah,
That
it is.
thing-
It totally is.
That's, you know, I mean, we're
But
gonna-
it's great how they can all feed into each other. Like this grows with the 904 pop-up. 8103 grows with the 904 pop-up. Like everything is intertwined.
Everybody grows with the 904 pop-up.
100%. I see. I like that. And it's
Bars.
great because that is bars. That is bars. But it's great because, you know, with the 904 pop-up, you've got so many vendors that are also promoting it along with the thing. Like you're helping them grow, but they're also helping the, I mean, it's
It's the
rinse and repeat,
familiarity,
yeah.
and you mentioned it earlier. It's the people that come out there.
yeah.
People come out there and they don't know that their friend group is coming out there. They see their friend group, and then it's just like this super cool, hyper local. You see your friends, you do some shopping, you do some eating. Maybe you're hot. Go over to Surfer Bar, grab a 904 hard lemonade when they're ready.
Yep.
But no, man, I mean, and that's really what it was all about for me, is just like creating that event that, you know, was purely focused on the vendors. And yeah, like you mentioned, I went into the music, you know, side, and I had Instaramp out there, and it's not like it was unsuccessful. It was actually too expensive. I lost a shit pile of money, and I kept chasing the dragon, man, because I was trying to, like, well, if Nico can do this, I can do this, or if Charles can do this, I can do this, and like, I can't. I'm not a music festival.
Yeah, but you're doing something so different. That is the thing. Yeah, you're not a music festival.
And
it's
I
not
tried to create
Yeah,
one.
exactly.
And I literally thought I could do it. And
Yeah.
I still think I can. But it involves the right players. And that's when, I mean, dude, this was the first time we went into alcohol too. So, and that was a feat in itself, just to be able to get to that level.
For sure.
And then you know, you're talking, you know, security has to go to this level. Logistics have to go to this level. When the music was happening, I literally stopped running the vendor side, and I was running all the bands.
Yeah, I see.
Because I was doing all of those logistics. I have all those relationships with all the local artists, so it's like I could just make a phone call and say, hey, you want to do this? Because they know I'm going to do it right.
For sure, yeah.
And so, yeah, it wasn't like it was unsuccessful. It just didn't make a big enough difference for the shopping side of the event. And that's the point of it. It's like, so here again, my wife, she was like, well, you're doing all this work. And she was like, but my sales haven't went up. And I was like, you know what? That's a fucking good point.
Yeah.
I was like, because mine haven't went up either. And I'm like, why am I working 4 times as hard to basically get the same result?
Yeah.
And so it was just like, you know, sometimes, you know, simple is it.
Yeah.
And when there's too much information going on. So now it's like, we got this dude playing, this dude playing, this dude playing, this dude playing. Oh, yeah. And by the way, shop from 200 local vendors. Eat from, you know, I mean, it's a lot of information.
No, it totally is. And the 904 pop-up in itself, the flyers already, you got plenty on there. I mean, it's 20 different food trucks, 6 million vendors. You got this type of thing, vintage, whatever, sports. And it's like, yeah, no, you're good. Yeah,
So-
it does make a good point. Just keep it simple. I want to touch on this August 14th drop that we got coming. It's August 14th, right? The vintage drop?
Yep.
So for the people, I mean, if you already aren't doing enough stuff as it is, you also are moving vintage, the Jags vintage specifically. This drop is going to be huge, eh?
Yep. For the last 8 months, I've been sourcing.
Where have you been sourcing from the most? Like, do you know, are
All
you
over the place.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll pull shit from Indonesia. I'll get stuff from Japan. It's really crazy how this stuff kind of makes its way around. Obviously, I've got multiple plugs, you know, here in the vintage community. Shout out to all my guys. You know who you are. But I come through, man. I come through with big buys.
For sure.
You know? And I buy high. Sometimes I get ripped off. I'm getting better at it, though.
Yeah.
But I know what I can flip. And that's the difference between, you know, a vintage reseller that just has an Instagram page and, you know, 1,000 or 2,000 followers. I've been selling apparel for 23 years. So we have a trust factor that can't be fucked with.
Yeah.
And being that Jaguar players frequent our store, they're in every year. I sold Marissa one of the rarest, vintage Jag jackets last year. She comes in every year.
That thing was so tough too.
And
Was that the triple one, the one where it's 3 jumping Jaguars
it's
on it?
the huge.
Oh, that's right. Yes,
The huge wrap.
God, that
and
thing's
all
so tough.
embroidery and. Yeah, man. I mean, I have one more of those. The zipper's broken on it right now, but I'm going to get it fixed, and it's an XL. I'm not going to drop that on, the 14th because obviously I'm going to, wait, for winter.
But you already have so much stuff in there as it is too. Like even before you do the drop. I mean, I haven't seen it, I guess, in a couple months, but
I've been sitting on stuff.
That store is stocked, bro. Your store is always stocked, and
We're going to drop about 300 pieces for all this.
Jesus Christ, bro. Do you feel like when customers come in, do you feel like they're coming in mostly for the Jags Vintage or for 8103 or Sun Honey's in there as well? So shout out Sun Honey. Haven't talked about that like very much, but that's, you got 3 different brands operating out of one store. Which one do you feel like is getting the most traffic?
What's very interesting about our kind of marketing system, if you will, is that, Alyssa has her own marketing. 8103 has, my own marketing. Obviously, we do a little bit, from the 904 Pop-Up Shop Instagram, but that's mostly just to kind of collab on that page.
Sure.
I'll slightly sprinkle it in on the 904 Pop-Up, but it's usually like, during Jag season or something like that. Like I'll float a story up or, something like that. But I don't try to, just because I run the Pop-Up, like just throw my brand, on the page. Like it's just not cool. But no, I mean, per the season right now, it's going to be vintage in 8103. Because I teased that I did that Netflix documentary, for the August 14th drop. And, but yeah, we've had people literally coming in pretty much every other day being like, when's the drop? When's the drop? And it's like, some people get confused, think it's this date or that date, but people are waiting. I've been leaking, some new designs.
I mean, every time you do one of these drops, there's a line that goes down the street.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be fucking down the street.
It's crazy, man.
Badass.
And with you put yourself in such a good spot that you couldn't really get in without doing 23 years in this game. Like, you got the news backing you. You've got all these big, handles in Jacksonville that are like, they're running their own little communities within the city. And when it all comes together, man, it's fucking awesome. I mean, you crush it, dude. Seriously. So, let's plug these people in. Hayden, do you have anything else, brother?
Nah, everything that he touches, strikes gold. It seems like.
Yeah,
it's just like,
literally.
Just keep it coming. When's the next business, launching?
Midas touch.
Exactly.
Well, what's great is we can, we can frequently have Bark on, and like very often, every single time we have him on, pretty much it's always something different.
Yeah.
And the ball keeps rolling down the road, man. So I absolutely love it. Love working with you, and I can't thank you enough for just like all the free game you've given me and all of our listeners as well. I mean, you're definitely one of those guys that have proven that it works and you can get through anything and fucking do it, bro. So let's plug these people in, man. Where can they follow all the different channels and everything? So let's plug them.
First, thanks for having me on again.
Of course, bro.
Like I said, man, I can't toot your horn enough, and I'm really glad to meet you because you're really helping him out. I really love what you're doing. I know I've told you this multiple times.
Thank you.
You've done such a great job with this brand. I can't wait to see what you do with Club Citrus. Hopefully I didn't leak something too early.
No, we actually, perfect timing.
But you guys are a great team together. I can definitely see he's adding massive value.
Definitely.
And no, man, I just can't wait to continue to, see both of you guys like grow this brand because I know it's going to grow.
Thank you. Yeah.
And it's just don't stop, dude.
Yeah.
But otherwise, where you can find me, at 8103 Clothing on Instagram, at 904 Pop-Up on Instagram, 8103clothing.com, 904popup.com, 904 Lemonade.
Yeah, hell yeah, baby.
That's just an Instagram.
Maybe soon we're going to have to do, I mean, it is a little off-brand for us, but maybe if there ever becomes an orange flavor, we do a special OGSP collab with the lemonade and a little orange or citrus flavor to it.
Collabs, baby.
Ooh, we'll keep that one.
We'll explore the live events later down.
I think that would be good,
do
honestly.
something.
Seriously, Mark, thank you so much for coming on, man. It's been a pleasure, bro.
Thank
All
you.
the OGs watching this episode 163, absolutely love you guys. If y'all are enjoying this episode, drop a like, comment, subscribe, the whole nine. Y'all are the best, and we will see y'all next week. Also, make sure you follow Club Citrus Radio.
Yeah.
We have changed the handle. I know we mentioned in our last episode it was Club Citrus Music, but Club Citrus Radio sounds a little cooler, we think.
Yeah.
So we switched it up. But all y'all go check out those channels. Check out all of our stuff as well on TikTok, Instagram, X, the whole nine. We love you guys. We are out.